chooses to ignore. And if the brown skin population does not begin to educate themselves about what was happening so that they can truly self-identify, then we run into the issue where, they allowed to put up 42 street cameras and some foreign corporation is actually the ones that's issuing, the receipts, right. What I mean, the tickets,
right?
So
it is really,
so I have
from
a question.
Perspective.
Right. I have a question though, so that I'm really clear, and I'm gonna dig deep. Indigenous education. Are you a think tank? What can you speak to your mission and who you are and what you actually do? I'm very interested in what you're doing and the organization around that. Would you mind sharing?
Definitely. Well, thank you very much. We realized we didn't properly introduce ourselves.
No, you just jumped in and you gave good data. You gave good data, but you like handling here. And then I was sitting here like, oh, yeah, that's great. But what do they do? So help me with that. Thank you.
No problem. So we're mother and son duo co-founders of a small nonprofit called Indigenous Education. And Indigenous Education has been, we've been around for 10 years. And our mission is to educate the public of the omitted history of the brown and dark-skinned Indigenous populations, particularly of the southeastern portions of the United States. So that's the overall mission. And we satisfy that mission goal by, we have workshops, education workshops that we offer to the community. Right now, of course, over online. We also have a television program that we air in the Philadelphia area, and then on Roku and Apple, and trying to actually we're moving into the Maryland, DC, and the Baltimore area this year with our television program called America's Dark Skin Past. We and we do cultural events such as monthly full moon and new moon fire circles, where we offer the public. Well, we have an agreement with the city of Philadelphia. We're stationed out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We have an agreement with them to offer a fire circle in the park on the full moons and the new moons, and where we teach the neighborhood, give them an opportunity to sit down and just learn about some of Indigenous ways center and just be a part of nature, something that the inner city communities really don't take the opportunity to do.
And just say this simply. This is Congress. They use the best historians. They use the best genealogists. They use the best when it comes to historical narratives and when they want to propose an argument, which is why the Muskogee Creek Freedmen or the Muskogee Creek took the actions that they took, which was trying to re-enfranchise the Creek Freedmen, because this door that Congress opened for them was just that. It was a Pandora's box they did not want to open. Okay? Now, this is a very important part of that bill because it talks about the creeks and then the loyal creeks. And then we're going to go into census documents once I'm finished with this point that I'm making. But it says creeks known as the, quote, loyal creeks, who generally resisted cultural assimilation, provided supplies, men, and support for the Union. A contingent of loyal creeks which included a substantial, quote, black Creek component. Let's not overlook the word a substantial black. They didn't say Negro. They didn't say African. They said black Creek component, saying these people looked like black people, and they had a substantial amount of them that was a part of the loyal Creeks, right? And it says they left their homes in Oklahoma and moved to Kansas to flee Southern Creek soldiers and their Confederate allies. Now, what do they mean to flee the Creek Confederate allies?
I'm going to show you how you can earn $25 every 10 minutes by just simply reading.
Right? Who were these Creek Confederate allies? I'll tell you. They were actually whites who had purportedly had Creek bloods, and they reported themselves on the census as such, that I look like a white man. However, I'm a Creek Indian. These are your $5 Indians. These are the people who wanted to put the original people into slavery. They were still fighting to put them in slavery. Hence, they said Creeks had Negroes in slavery. These were supposed to be the freedmen. See, the freedmen now, right? The Creek freedmen are supposed to be descendants of these white Creeks who were putting the black Creeks into slavery. You don't believe me? Watch this. Now, you can't see the whole thing, but I would please implore you, please, to go yourself and view the 5 civilized tribes census and break it down. Break it down systematically. Break the lies down, break the time frames down. Look at how things are not consistent and they don't make sense. But what I will say, if you look right here, let me see if I can do it right way, right there, and you get to the census, you will see whites, 3,200 and whatever, Creek Indians enrolled as such, right? Then you say Negroes enrolled as such. So what you have here, and it gets much deeper than that, because there was a large amount of white people, quote, white Creeks, enrolled as such, that identified as such, that was a part of the Creek Nation. And then they were identifying themselves as such, as white Creeks. And then they was breeding back in with black Creeks. Okay? This is trust me, it goes way beyond you guys can imagine, which is why it's so phenomenal to me to see how the Creek freedmen basically are having to go about to be introduced back into a nation that was once theirs, because the Creeks were ran by Negroes. That is historically documented, and I'll bring the proof. I swear, for one of you who even test me and try me, I will show you how the whole Creek Nation was predominantly Negroes and identified as Negroes and ran the entire Creek Nation.
She says, I don't even know if she remembers really, but Cherokee and Navajo. My father was Navajo and my mother was Cherokee.
Called the Statue of Liberty.
In the case of an American Negro, born in that glittering republic, and in the moment you are born, since you don't know any better, every stick and stone and every face is white, and since you have not yet seen a mirror, you suppose that you are too. It comes as a great shock around the age of 5 or 6 or 7 to discover that the flag to which you have pledged allegiance, along with everybody else, has not pledged allegiance to you. It comes as a great shock to discover that Gary Cooper killing off the Indians when you were rooting for Gary Cooper, that the Indians were you. It comes as a great shock to discover that the country, which is your birthplace, and to which you owe your life and your identity, has not in its whole system of reality evolved any place for you.